Well, hello, all of my sexy UFC fans. Um, this is my first ever vlog review of a UFC event. I'm really excited about this. I'm thinking about starting up an MMA blog, and this is kind of my first step in doing that. So do me a favor at the end of this video, if you like it, subscribe down at the bottom, because that's going to keep me making videos and putting this information out there for you guys. So, and if you don't like it, whatever, I don't care. Screw you. So a few things. Number one, you're probably wondering who the hell I am. Number two, why do I think I have any credence at all to talk about MMA? And number three, what you're going to get from me. So I'll go ahead and answer those questions for you now. My name is Ashley. I am currently living in Safety Harbor, Florida. It's a really small city just outside Clearwater on the Tampa Bay side of Florida. Why am I qualified to talk about this? I guess really I'm not, but I'm just a huge sports geek, and I have been watching, playing, diving into sports since I was a little kid. And I just kind of all around really enjoy talking about them, whether it be football, baseball, hockey, UFC, anything of that respect. But I really like UFC. It's a lot of fun. I've been pretty big into it now for about 6 years or so. So I kind of want to talk about it. So that's that. And then finally, what you're going to get from me, you're just going to get a very straightforward, opinionated human being. I'm a female, so my emotions get really involved in this. I care about my fighters. I want to see them do well. I want to see them succeed. And when they don't, or when they do something that makes me angry, I get really mad. So if I don't like a stoppage, if I don't like the fact that someone got a title shot, if I thought a fight was amazing and I'm really pumped about it, that's what you're going to hear from me. So, again, I hope you like it, and that's that. Moving on. UFC 164, Pettis and Henderson. I'm going to cover the main card. I'm not going to talk about the prelims because who wants to talk about the prelims? Although the Lim fight did win Fight of the Night honors, so kudos to them. But at any rate, moving on to the main card. So the first fight of the night, Eric Koch and Dustin Poirier. What? Dustin Poirier, what? This guy put on a pretty good show opening the main card, and he did, I think, a really good job. This is going to be a unanimous decision after 3 rounds of action, and action was it, seriously. I mean, we had the early submission attempt by Koch that was unsuccessful. How? I'm not exactly sure how this guy got out of the submission. He like Houdini'd his way out of that thing. But that submission was in there pretty tight, and he just kind of takes a deep breath, collects himself, and does his thing, man, and gets out of that. And then later on, we're going to have a submission attempt by Poirier that's going to be unsuccessful, but showing some really great work off his back. And then also the punch that maybe should have been a knockout if Koch didn't have such an iron chin. But yeah, this is a really all-around great fight for Dustin Poirier. He's up now to 7 out of his last 9 fights, I think it is. And Koch has lost 2 straight now. So this is a pretty big fight for both guys, I think. I think you're going to have Dustin Poirier now with a lot of confidence, and this is going to put him in line to get another good fight, to keep moving up, improving himself a little bit more. And for Koch, I think this is gonna kind of start being put up or shut up time for him. You know, this is the 145 pound division. It's a really tough division. Your champ is Jose Aldo. And that guy's, ridiculous. So if you want any chance at at being competitive in this division. You've really got to get your stuff together, as we see with another fight later in the night, also at 145. So a lot of talent in this division. I think Dustin Poirier puts on a really good show tonight and gets the unanimous decision win with a couple judges giving a 10-8 round in there. So they're really liking Dustin Poirier over Eric Koch. Moving on to the next fight of the night, which is Brandon Vera and Ben Rothwell. I wasn't exactly super stoked about this fight in the first place. I think Brandon Vera is one of those where I'm kind of just starting to get tired of him. We see him on the main card a lot, and I just feel like he's not that kind of entertaining guy. I don't, what you're going to get out of him, but there's just, I can't get into him. I really just can't. This is going to end up being a TKO in round 3 in favor of Ben Rothwell, who coming into this fight had won 16 of his last 17 fights, which is pretty crazy in mixed martial arts these days. Rothwell, man, he just keeps moving forward. He doesn't really let up on Brandon Vera at all in this fight. And does he take punishment for it? Absolutely. He took so much punishment. But he kept moving forward. He kept throwing punches and kicks and he's gonna end up getting the TKO victory over Brandon Vera. Herb Dean, calls a great stoppage in this instance. I think that initially when I saw it the first time, I thought maybe it was a little bit early, just because I don't like the fact that Brandon Vera is kind of rolling backwards as he calls the stoppage. I feel like if someone's rolling and kind of covering up, that's kind of at least a sign that they're still, trying to coherently defend themselves. And do I think that it's going to change the outcome of the fight? Absolutely not. I see it being a little bit early. I kind of want to see the guy get his face punched into the mat a couple times. So that's all I'm saying. I just want to see a little bit of blood. That's all. So this is going to be TKO round 3 in favor of Ben Rothwell. He improves to 17 out of 18. And I think we're just going to kind of see this decline of Brandon Vera. I don't think people are interested in him as a fighter anymore. So that's kind of my take on that. The next fight of the night is another 145-pound bout with Mendes and Guida. Who doesn't love seeing Guida in the octagon? I mean, this guy's... he's ridiculous. I mean, he's going to get finished tonight for the first time ever with punches, which, really just kind of attests to this guy's, strength. I mean, he's just nutso in the octagon, and everybody loves watching him. He's always going to be one of those guys, whether win, lose, or draw, people are going to want to watch him fight because he's just entertaining, and you never know what he's going to do. He's crazy in the octagon. So I like this fight. I like this matchup with Chad Mendes being ranked number 1, right underneath Aldo with the championship. This is a good matchup. Clay Guida at number 9. Mendes, not only is he gonna, throw punches and be competitive on the feet, he just controlled Guida on the ground. I mean, that was, really impressive considering, Guida is a very good all-around fighter, and he just out-wrestles him completely in this fight. So this is going to be another round 3 TKO, and people, I know I didn't expect that. Guida is not one of those guys that's going to get knocked out or TKO'd ever. The last time he was finished actually was in 2009 by Kenny Florian. So I think this was a really good fight all around. Do I think that it necessarily hurts Clay Guida? No, not at all. Does it kind of put another feather in Mendez's cap? Absolutely. And I think this is just going to keep pushing him forward for that 145 belt. So if Anthony Pettis doesn't claim it first. anyways, we'll talk about that in a second. So that's my outlook on that fight. Jumping forward again, we're going to move on to the Mir and Barnett fight. How stoked are you to see Barnett back in the octagon? I mean, this guy has a ridiculous record. He's got some crazy names in his cap. You know, just the people he's finished. He's finished McGee and Couture and Takahashi and Nogueira. You know, and then he comes back and he avenges his first UFC loss. Against Rizzo and this guy. I mean, he just has this crazy track record. You know, he's 33-6 in MMA, which is outstanding in itself. You know, he's gonna have this TKO win over Frank Mir, who wasn't happy about the outcome of that fight. Thank you very much. I think we're kind of all ready to see Frank Mir kind of fall by the wayside. I know I am. I feel like he had his chances, and I'm just kind of starting to get tired of him as a fighter, kind of the way that I feel about Brandon Vera. I'm not excited to watch him anymore. I feel like he's getting very stagnant in the octagon. I don't get that excitement to watch him that I used to get before. So, so Barnett's going to be really convincing in this fight, and rightfully so. And he shows just this crazy stand-up game, but then he's going to control the hell out of Frank Mir on the ground. So, which is crazy considering Frank Mir's background with wrestling and stuff. So, he's a great all-around fighter. I checked out the breakdown of his wins. 8 of them are by knockout. 20 are by submission. So, this guy's really dangerous in both aspects, standing up and on the ground. So, I'm really excited to have him back in the octagon. He's signed for a few fights, so I think that this is going to be a pretty interesting return. I'm excited to see what he does moving forward. And yeah, so let's jump in to the madness that was the championship fight. I'm really upset. I am. I love Benson Henderson. I really do. I love the heart that he has. I loved the 2 Frankie Edgar fights. Going 10 rounds with that guy. I mean, Frankie Edgar is one of those nutsoest people in MMA, and he's got all this heart, and to watch Benson Henderson go up against a guy like that and defeat him, kind of really puts it in perspective how good of a fighter he is and how truly dedicated he is to this sport, and I think that he's gonna make for some pretty exciting fights in the future. I think he underestimated Pettis a little bit. He gets him down to the ground, and he has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so it's like, he kind of took him for granted a little bit. He, instead of posturing up and kind of getting the control, of the wrists and things like that, he kind of, caved in, and instead of getting really his hips solidified underneath him, I think he just kind of thought he was going to be able to kind of go into that ground and pound kind of mode with Anthony Pettis, and we all know that's not the case. Anthony Pettis is a really dangerous guy inside the octagon. So, I think Bendo takes him for granted a little bit in this fight. He goes right after him at the sound of the bell. I mean, there's no touching of the gloves. These guys are ready to tackle. And instead of, I think, standing back and taking him for the fighter that he is, and that the way he should have taken him, he kind of took him for granted a little bit. And then Pettis, he's just gonna take over. He's gonna throw kicks to the body, punches to the body, elbows to the body, punches to the face. I mean, he is just coming after Benson Henderson like none other, and was it fun to watch? Absolutely. It was fun to watch. And Pettis showed why he was the WBC champ, and now why he's the UFC champ. He went in there, he went right after him, and he's going to eventually get the armbar submission against Henderson and really quickly. I mean, in the first round, I mean, who expected a first round finish? I didn't. Not with these two guys. Not with these two guys going at it. So, what's next? Anthony Pettis calls out Jose Aldo. What? I don't like it. I don't like it because you just got your lightweight belt back. Defend it. Kind of establish your credence there. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to see a Benson Henderson rematch. And in order for him to go down to 145, I think, they're going to want him probably to give up the belt at 155 in order to move down and fight Jose Aldo. I don't know that they're going to let him hold both or contend for both. I know this isn't going to be a catchweight fight. Jose Aldo and his camp have said that if they fight, this is going to be a 145 bout. So just an all-around kind of interesting dynamic, I think. Benson Henderson is always gracious in defeat, and he's, I'm sure, chomping at the bit to get his next title fight, which I can't imagine is going to be far off in the distance. If this whole thing with Jose Aldo is going to happen, then Benson is, one fight away from getting another title shot, and I don't really know that anybody in the lightweight division is really anywhere close to those two guys. So this is definitely going to be an interesting development moving forward, and I look forward to seeing what both guys are going to do with this. To see Pettis go down to 145 and fight Jose Aldo would be really interesting. Pettis has that kind of energy and the heart to stand in front of Jose Aldo, which not a lot of people have, because he just seems to destroy people's hopes and dreams, which just ask Uriah Faber. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what this fight has to bring. I think it's going to be a good thing, a good dynamic moving forward. So, at any rate, that's all I have for you guys for this review of UFC 164. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then click the subscribe button down at the bottom because that's going to keep me making videos. And the next time I'll see you guys is going to be on Sunday, September 22nd, after the John Jones-Gustafsson fight. I have my reservations on who I want to win that fight, but we won't talk about those now because that's bad luck, right? We can't talk about that. Also, we're going to have Henan Brow on that card as the co-main event, which that guy's ridiculous. Who doesn't love that guy? We're going to have Matt Mitrione and Brendan Shaw, which is going to be great. We're going to have Philippou on this card, so I think this is just going to be an all-around exciting card. I'm really excited to watch. I think it's really gonna be a good show. So anyways, I'll see you guys on the 22nd, and thanks for watching.